How's it going, everybody? GodBaer here. Once again, thank you for clicking into one of my videos. We are back on NCAA Football 25, and I thought I would upload a relatively quick video to showcase how I like to recruit teams, more so how you may be able to recruit in terms of getting 5 or 4 stars on your squad, regardless of your team overall. So quickly, I'm just going to go into settings here and just show you guys that we're going to be on Heisman. We're going to go coaching, CPU only. We'll go faster, just or fastest to show this off real fast, and everything else user controlled. Custom conferences, I really don't care. We're going to advance just to quickly show you guys what team we're going to be choosing, and we're going to purposely take Eastern because they are a 1.5 star, low overall, and I can show you guys what truly can happen regardless of what your team rating is in terms of that star there. And we'll go ahead and just jump into it. I do want to quickly just show you guys that I'm going to go recruiter as well. It's a fresh head coach, I should say, and I don't really care what his name is, but just to show that there's no like head start in terms of us choosing a coach that's already underway in terms of having points. So fresh start in terms of everything. Low overall team, only one attribute that we're going to be able to allocate into our skill tree, which I will quickly go ahead and put in the quarterback because quarterback is the most important position. And in terms of the tree here, I would prioritize, obviously, if you are specifically going after a particular type of player, your fully scouting for every position is definitely warranted. But if you're going for position first, just by their star rating and not their attributes in terms of speed, strength, and etc., I would quickly get the first 2 points because recruiting actions have bigger impact, if not the first three of a particular position, because then you get increased weekly recruiting hours on said position, and then transition to one of these other ones as you see fit. So if you're looking for like specific attributes on a player in terms of speed and strength, I'd get one of every position. If you're looking for, again, just purely a certain position and have that be a high overall star rated player, I would get the first three. You don't really need the fourth one up until, the next season is starting out, because you don't technically get that increased starting interest if it's not the increase of the season itself. All right, so we are going to add our prospects, and I do want to show you that I'm literally just going to go top prospects, and I'm going to go to every single 5 star here just to show a point. And I'm going to add every single 5 star that does not have a deal breaker for us, and present how you can kind of get good overall players, because again, the higher stars are typically the higher overall the player. So again, I'm just going to run through these and add all 35. I don't really care what position needs. I'm just showcasing again how you can get high stars on a low star squad team. Now that we have everybody added, obviously there is no allocating any hours. You cannot do any actions through the very first week of the season, or I guess prior to the season actually starting. So you want to offer a scholarship to every single team, because offering them a scholarship will indicate to you, once you advance to the next week, where you are in terms of everybody else's influence rating. So again, I'm just going to literally offer contracts to every single player on this board, and then I'll get back to you guys when we advance the week. All right, so now that we are into the next week, we're going to go ahead and go into recruiting and see where we are in terms of everybody else. And we're going to go through, and for example, players like this that only have Kansas State on their team, we will offer them the full 50 out of 50 that we can. And some teams, for example, let's find Ohio State is obviously going to be really hard to compete with. Some other squads like Georgia, Alabama, things like that. We're going to go ahead and unfortunately just remove them from our board. Too difficult to compete with, but you can go through and check to see who you want to fully go after. For example, North Carolina here. But in terms of the video, I'm going to keep this and go for the highest overall players. Again, Ohio State, Penn State, we're not going to compete with them. Clemson, Virginia Tech, but that's 6 overall scholarships. Not going to compete with all of them, especially with our squad. Ohio State, TCU, unfortunately not. Again, 6 scholarships, not even going to attempt it. Georgia and Clemson, but Virginia and Pitt, we will go ahead and throw 50. Again, just trying to showcase to you guys what you can truly do in terms of competing for these 5 stars, regardless of your team overall. Not going to compete with them. All right, so 4 stars. 5 stars are obviously, there's going to be high competition regardless, because they're 5 stars. Everybody's going to be going after them. But the 4 stars, you can get your hands on many, many more of them, regardless of your team overall. But again, we're going to compete with these 2 5 stars. You know what? I just want to see what Clemson and Georgia Tech do. So we're going to go ahead and compete for those 3 5 stars. Other than that, when it comes to 4 stars, there are a plethora of 4 stars. So at this point, I'm literally going to go through all of these and see how many have nobody. For example, like this, nobody's going for Mr. Harris. So this man is going to go ahead and get the full 50. We're going to move him up on our board up and below R5. And we're just going to go ahead and continue to look for people that have no offers whatsoever, because nobody is going after them. And you will continuously do that. Even like this, the University of Kentucky, relatively lower overall team. But again, defensive tackle. So we're going to add actions to him. And at this point, you could pick and choose if you want to go for certain players that have only, for example, only one guy here. You know, I'm just going to go ahead and prove a point or show a point here where Kentucky does have a lead and a scholarship. We're going to show you guys when we advance where we are at in terms of us against them. You'll see that Tennessee, Clemson, Georgia, and all of them will almost go away, even though we're only using our 50 points, unless they obviously decide to go after this said player. We are going to remove all these other guys, and we'll jump into how I like to look through. Actually, we could have gone for that South Carolina player there, but that's okay. We're going to remove all these guys with the scholarships and add our board with people that have no offers, and I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so now that we're adding 4 stars, again, I'm just literally going to go to top prospects. Again, we're not going after these 5 stars. We're going to the 4 stars. You can do this a little bit more specific for your needs and all that, but you see the right stick here, you got deal breaker, but I like to go here to see who has scholarship offers, because everybody that does not have a scholarship offer in terms of these 4 stars are going to be added to our board, because there is nobody showing any real interest in them, and we can get in there and get a big lead, if not get them to commit before any other team, which is a good way of building up your overall squad, because that's how you get commits. So again, just looking through to see who has 0 offers. Usually you get, there's one. All right, defensive tackle. Okay, well, I think we got too many defensive tackles on our board this time. There's a cornerback. But again, I'm just going through and seeing who has 0 offers. And whoever has 0 offers, like free safety, cornerback, he's got 1. He's got 3, 4, none. Right guard. Middle linebacker with 1, halfback with 4, wide receiver with 2, middle linebacker 2. And yes, we're just going to go through our board and fill this up as much as we can. But again, I'm just going through and adding everybody that does not have any scholarship offers. All right, we didn't go with the whole 35, but we do have 17 total players on our board. We don't want to go any heavier than 20 at this point early on, because again, we don't have the points to allocate through that. But in terms of positions, who we got here, right? And so 3 defensive ends, because they're on the boards. We do not need to go after any more defensive ends. So maybe we find a quarterback down here. Do we got one? No, we don't. Maybe we go after a wide receiver. So for the sake of it, again, we're just going to add everybody with contracts, scholarship offers. But that wide receiver, we will add our remaining points here whenever we have left in terms of actions after sending an offer to everyone, again, to get us a jump in terms of finding out where we are in terms of their overall influence list. All right, we are advancing to the next week. Find out where we are, especially with those first 5 or 6 recruits. Again, we're going to be in the top 8 of the schools themselves. We We're finally going to get to the regular season against UMass, but that doesn't matter. We're simulating all of these, and we are third. Again, Kansas State and Virginia Tech will be somewhat difficult to compete with. Georgia is showing that they're going to go after this guy. So again, we're just going to drop him. We got Virginia Tech and Pitt and a 4th scholarship offer on this guy. So unfortunately, I think we're going to drop the 5-star, which only lives as 5 stars. You know what? We're going to keep him just to see if we can rally back. Again, I want to show on this video who you can actually compete with. University of Kentucky is unfortunately going to beat us out for this guy, so we're going to drop a response. But you kind of just go after, again, unless you're chasing the specific stats, obviously at that point you can scout players. But up until your coach gets better, that's a really quick way of spending hours instead of just going after the best star rating, which is typically going to be the best overall rating. It's just a matter if they fit your scheme style in terms of how you play or what you're looking to add to your team. But that's besides the point of what we're covering right now. Again, if you look at all these other players that I added, they still have no real interest in the team. And I will say, don't pay attention to all these influence bars right here. Doesn't matter how close they are to the right side. If they don't have a scholarship, it literally does not matter. They will mean nothing. The bar only shows purely in terms of comparison's sake. Let's just say Michigan State was literally 98% full and all these other bars were the same. Doesn't mean that he's about to commit. It just means he has a lead. So in terms of putting this into numbers, let's just say Michigan State at 98% has 100 points in terms of influence. Everybody else, since they're relatively even, maybe has like 78 points into their influence. So I come in here and I add those 50 points into the bar there. I jump up from my unranked level here up until their borderline top 10, if not all the way in. So just to prove a point on Mr. LB here, we are going to go ahead and just throw 50 hours on him. I'm going to show you guys. Regardless of where their bar is, it does not matter. Watch us jump into arguably first place after this point. But again, everybody, I know we jumped into top 10 with some teams, but I don't think we have anybody that shows any more than, all right, I'm just looking at the far right of the screen. You see our red X's saying if we have 3 of those green check marks there. But of course, this is only week 1, so we're not going to have that yet. We're going to go ahead and add a free safety to the squad, just get a variety in terms of positions. And then let's just make the last one a right guard. Now we're going to go ahead and advance to the next week. But you see, we got 8 players that we're going after right now. And again, I'm just going to go through my thought process and like how I like to recruit and do a little bit more in-depth from what I've seen in these other videos. But same drill. We're going to go ahead and advance to the next week. See where we are in terms of influence against the other players. I'm hoping we can pull off one of these 5 stars in this video. Again, I would really love just to showcase the method to my madness and really figure out or showcase to you guys what it is. So right here, you see Virginia Tech and us are pretty head-to-head at this point, and Kansas State has fallen behind. Virginia Tech is really going after both of our guys here. That is really unfortunate here. But for the sake of this, we're going to just compete with Mr. Lawton here up until he does commit. But we have a comfortable lead with Harris. We are the only person on the free safety, the only person on the defensive tackle. Our running back, exactly the point here. You saw how Michigan State and everybody else was ahead of us, but only putting a single 50 points in terms of send a house gives us a relatively good lead from being unranked out of their top 8 into first place. Again, first place. We have 0 points, unfortunately, in terms of our hours, so there's not a whole lot we can do. We're just going to go ahead and confirm to see if there's anything we can alter in terms of sending the house to anything more specific. There's no schedules to be set in terms of visits, and we're going to go ahead and advance into the next week. So let's find out where we are, see if we can combat any of these, I guess, Virginia Tech players that they're going after with. We actually start off 2-0. That is actually kind of surprising, but that's not the point. We don't care about the record or how well the team does, but we're still head to head with this man here. We're fighting back here against Mr. Lawton here. But again, Harris, Joe, Amano, Ellaby. And again, see, look at this. We are just absolutely running away with the majority of these players. But again, there's nothing really for us to do in terms of our hours. It's still all set at 0 out of our 400. 400 is actually really, really low. But again, all these other players that I added to the board, they still have 0 offers. And we'll ultimately, hopefully, try to get to them. But do we have any coaching points that we can put in? We have 40 coaching points. Let's go ahead and do that. I didn't expect to have that many. But we are going to, what positions do we have? We got defensive ends. So we again are going to focus what we're going after right now. And we're going to increase our weekly hours. I think we got a couple free safeties. So again, we're going to go after the allocated hours. And then we will, I forgot what our other positions are. I know there's an offensive lineman. So we're just going to do this and advance to the next week. Hopefully we can get a lead against these Virginia Tech players and find out where we're at. Again, this is purely just sharing. What I like to do is we lose our first game of the season and give you guys a more in-depth look from what I've seen. But we have the lead against this 5-star defensive end. Virginia's running away with that one a little bit more. Again, we are going to have no competition against these other players that had no offers in the first place. Check to see if there are anything that we can change. Ooh, we can schedule visits, and these are the 5-stars, so we're going to need to do that, and the 4-star here. So if I need to free up some hours, I'm going to look to see who has the biggest lead that I can kind of ease off of, which is clearly going to be this guy right here. And I think I have 2 visits. I do have 2 visits, so these bottom 2 guys are unfortunately going to lose their 50 hours. And I'm going to first schedule this man here. And I know a lot of people like to check the wins and the loss ratio in terms of how many arrows you get up or down. But if you're competing with teams like this, Virginia Tech is ahead of us already. I'm just going to go with the earliest week available. And at this point, unfortunately, I don't have any aspects in terms of green checks, which is really, really unfortunate. So I can't benefit in terms of choosing a positive one. So we're just going to go with our highest grade at this point and hope that it's a green check to, again, influence him to jump over Virginia Tech there. But typically, for example, this visit here, we can schedule. Again, we're going to go as early as possible. We have all 3 check marks, actually. And we're going to go with our highest grade, which is proximity to home. And since we have all 3 check marks, and he is within the top 5, he is top 5. See how the 6 through 9 are grayed out. He's top 5. So we're going to remove Send the House, and we're going to go to Hard Sell since we see all 3 of his green arrows here. So we're going to go scroll through these, find the one with all 3, which is right here. And we are going to go ahead. How close is this? We're single-handedly kind of winning this guy already, so we're not going to allocate any points. We're going to go ahead and add him to this 5-star because we need it. So now we're all 65 out of 65, so ultimately that helped, and I still have 25 hours. I thought that just used my 25 hours. You know what? We'll just keep it set with how that is. All right, so ultimately we got our visits scheduled. Oh, there's more scheduled visits. I did not see that. These guys obviously need it. We'll just focus them on next time because again, there's no real. Okay, Purdue did offer a scholarship to the running back, but there's no real worry for us at this point in time. So we're gonna go ahead and just schedule to the next week. Okay, we are in week 5, 3-1 with these Eastern Eagles, as we got the lead with Mr. I'm not even gonna mention his name, Soma. Oh, unfortunately, 4 scholarships on Lawton now. We're still going to compete with him just for the sake of it. Got a comfortable lead. And nobody else has still sent a scholar offership to any of our other players. But we get to send out. So right here, unfortunately, there's a negative aspect. And since the win-loss has no up or down arrows. That is technically only one down arrow. So at this point, I'm not going to schedule it as early as possible. I will go next week, which hopefully does not hurt us. And luckily, playtime is an A plus as well. I'm just hoping. Oh, this is the man we got a good lead with. It's this one here that we really need this visit to go well for us this week so we can jump ahead of Virginia Tech. But we do have another schedule that we can visit here. Anybody else have 3 out of the green arrows on the right? I don't think so. This man does. So again, you're just going to check for as soon as people have those 3 green arrows, and you're going to alter to the 3 arrows here. But we are going to schedule this man's visit again as early as possible, as long as there's no other negative arrows. And this B is going to be the highest grade. We only have 10 hours. There's no real competition on this guy. Can we add it anywhere else? That's really necessary is the point. 10 hours on this man, just because Purdue has sent him a scholarship as well. We want to make sure that we stay ahead of him. But other than that, let's go ahead and advance to the next week. All right, so we got a bye week. The team has dropped 2 losses in a row. We have not the lead. I was hoping that visit was going to go better, but that is unfortunate. We do not have any scholarships. Purdue's making a little bit of a chase in terms of that prospect, but again, let's just see if we can alter anything. God, actually, at this point, this is a good case right here. So you see, we have send the house on this player. I'm gonna remove all of these, and yes, we only see 1 green check mark, but you know there's a total of 3, and there's only 2 other. What am I doing? I meant to go down to hard sell. You see that there's only 2 other on gray check marks, which means they have to be our green. So we're going to go ahead and find the one that has those 2 with our green, which it has to be his top 3 interests. It is his schedule week. And since he is a 5-star, we want to make sure he's got all 65 of his 65. It says 0 over there. Just go down and go up. And you see it changes from 65 to 65. And do we have any other players? See, this man's close to having the same situation, but I don't want to guess incorrectly, especially because we're competing with Virginia Tech here. I don't want to choose one of the gray X's, so we're going to wait till next week so he shows us all 3 of the correct options. I don't think we have. This man's already got his 3. This man has his 3 as well, but there's no real competition or reason to add any more points to him. This man can schedule a visit, and he's got a green arrow for Mr. Soma visiting, and looks like A+ playing time is going to be his best choice. This man can schedule a visit as well, and he's going to have to go to, I think that's Mississippi or Missouri. And unfortunately, no good grades on this one, so the D+ is going to be what it has to be. All right, I saw one name, which is unfortunate. Virginia Tech has stolen Mr. Lawton from us and leaves us with only 1 5-star option, which we do have a lead on him, but Mr. Lawton, unfortunately, is going to have to be removed from our board. It does free up some hours. This man is set with his 65 of his 65, so there's not a whole lot we can do at this point. He is also on a visit scheduled this week with the most, not the most points, but again, there's nobody else really chasing him, so there's no real point for us to add any extra hours. All right, so this man can be changed from send the house to hard sell since he's got his 3 top. There's the top one, and I'm checking. There's nobody else competing with him, so there's no reason for us to add any more than the 40 hours. This man also can be removed from the send house and changed to a hard sell. Just looking for it. There it is. And Purdue is competing with us a little bit, so we're going to make sure that we get him and just add as close to the 65 or the 60 as possible. And now, since we lost one of our 5-stars, we're just going to confirm that all of these other guys... Ooh. Oh, I forgot we were competing with these 2. We already got hours on these guys, so let's go ahead and just add the 50 back. Get them to commit to the team as quickly as possible. And if we look at our other 4-stars, they still have 0. Well, this guy has got an all-offership, and he's locked us out. But who do we want to go after here? Let's go with a tight end. But again, does not matter what these bars show. Even if they were almost all the way to the right being full, does not matter. But we will add as much as we can. And let's just go another five. Let's go Douglas. Douglas is a decent name. And move these guys up on our boards. And we will advance to the next week. And we get our first commit in Mr. Malcolm Harris, defensive end, with defensive tackle Javier Rowe, with Tyrell Ellaby. Thank you. 3 commits. And very nice job. And while we're speaking of commits, I might as well go to our coaching with the 20 points and quickly put those in, as we are in week 8 of the season. Again, we only want the top 3. We're going only the top 2. I know we just added a tight end, so we're going to go ahead and go with the top 3. Offensive lineman, top 3. And let's jump into our recruiting board and see how things are looking. We are getting a relatively good lead on this 5-star. We do have our 2 commits. We're going to move these, or our 3 commits. We're going to move them all the way to the top. That way they're out of the way. We're going to confirm to see if there's anything we need to change in terms of our players that we already have on the team. This man's visited schedule. There are 2 more offers on our mono, so we're going to add some more points to him to make sure we keep that lead. We have a visit to schedule, and he still has no interest in other teams, so we're going to go as early as possible. There's only 1 plus on this man, so of course we're going to choose it. And since he does not have any other interest, we're not going to alter any of the sending houses or add the extra 15 points that we can do. Since we're 50 out of 65, we can schedule another visit. Ooh, this man does have some scholarships pending as well with some other teams. B is going to be our best, and since he does have LSU, Ohio State, and Texas A&M. All right, that is some good teams to be chasing behind us. But since we do have a head start, we're going to see what we can do about moving him. And I will say I like to put my highest allocated points, hours-wise, on the top, so it just shows me who I should be chasing more intensely. As yeah, none of you guys had your 3 points. We need to allocate a little bit more points, which we're just going to go ahead and make sure it's the full 50. Again, if there's no competition against your guys, for example, like Mr. Willie here, doesn't mean that there's no offers that you should just be easy and like, you know what, I'm going to put the 10 or the 25 on them. No, just do the full 50 and get them to commit sooner. For example, I'm just going to full commit onto this one guy with my points, and I'll move him up on my board just because technically I'm chasing him stronger than the other guys. And you want them to commit as soon as possible, because as soon as they commit, you get the whole 65 hours that you were putting into that one player to reallocate into somebody else. Is we do get the 5-star defensive end in Soma on our squad. So I'm happy we beat out Virginia Tech in terms of that player. We are 3-4 now. Jesus, we are not doing all that great. I don't care about any MAC players. You guys, I don't care how you do. We're adding players to the team. But yes, our guy's already on the top. Wait, where did he go? Where's our 5? Oh, why did it put him on the bottom there? Oh, I put him on the bottom there. I forgot. Never mind. I'm dumb moment. All right, Texas A&M. These guys didn't chase him all that hard. We still got a good lead. Can we schedule any visits? He's already got his 3. He's on his visit currently. This man can be removed from send a house, and we can go to the hard sell since we have all 3 of his green arrow or green check marks over there. So you just scroll through and try to find this one. And again, you want him to commit as quickly as possible. So we're adding everything we can. This man cannot visit. He does not have our 3 green arrows. This man is close to having our 3 green arrows. And again, I'm just going to allocate all the points that we can on him just to get him to commit as early as possible. Same drill with this man. We're not going to remove the 10 because we're going to have to add the 5 for the 65. And now we will check to Auburn. So Auburn offered a scholarship. We're not going to compete with him. We'll add other 4 stars down the road. You see, these guys are technically ahead of us now, but that's because we've shown no interest at all. We will grab another corner because you can never have too many corners. And we're going to add the full points that we can on him to get them to commit as soon as possible. And then we'll go wide receiver as well for our last points. And we will advance to the next week. All right. Sorry, I got a text on my phone, so I was reading that instead. But yeah, we got the free safety on mono to commit, which is good. I'll read that text later. I think it was my cousin saying he was gonna come over in half an hour, which I've been doing this video for a little bit over half an hour. So we'll see how that time frame works out. I'm gonna save our coaching hours or points for now. No real urgency to spend 10. It's not a whole lot, but we do have 5 total commits right now. We're going to continuously. Actually, first I just want to see. LSU's fighting with us a little bit, but other than that, no real competition in terms of our players. So we're going to go to recruiting, see if there's anything that we can change. We do have a visit to schedule, again, early as possible. B is going to be the highest grade. We're going to go proximity to home instead, just because I feel like it's more important. We have, ooh, we can change from send the house off of this guy. I'm going to be removing all of them because it's 40 points. And which one do we need? This one right here with the 25 instead. Cannot schedule a visit. Cannot schedule a visit. Only 1 green arrow. 10 points. Nothing. And we'll add the 25. And you have no real offers on you. So we still got 11 people. I guess technically less because 5. But where do we rank in our top class? We're not in the top 13 that we see right there. So we'll go ahead and just advance to the next week. All right, we got a bye week here, 4 and 5, week 11. Again, we are looking through everybody just to see where we are. We'll have one competition. Georgia and Alabama are now on Mr. Pinner, so that should be interesting. But is there anything that we can alter for our players here? This man does not need send a house anymore because you see that we have 3 green arrows. Why do I keep wanting to say arrows? Check marks over there. So we're going to hard sell him. Just scroll through and see. Eventually, I'm going to learn which of these are specific for our players, but as of now, I do not know. But again, just going through, seeing if anybody needs this guy, I can schedule a visit, again, as early as possible. We only have the 1 check mark, so we're going with it. He cannot schedule. This man can. We have no more hours to allocate, so we're just going to advance to the next week. And the season is coming to an end. And yes, it may look like that we don't have a lot of commits at this point in time, but I'll show you guys something as we get a 4-star right guard. And we're going to chase after more players a little differently once we get to the end of the season here. The very first half or first full season in terms of how this one has gone has been chasing the highest overall players, but we don't really have any real competition in anybody other than Georgia and Alabama, making our bar look not so large. There is they make a gap, but again, they're a very high overall school, so we might end up dropping that player here in a little bit. We can remove send the house on this guy and change to hard sell since we see his 3 green check marks. And again, you're just scrolling through to see which ones you need. And we can schedule a visit on Mr. Pinner, which may not be a smart move because, again, Georgia and them are coming up on us here. But that's all we really can do for them. And our remaining guy, Ohio State, we're going to drop that. And we're going to go back to add prospect and add more 4-stars real fast. All right, so at this point, instead of going to top prospect, I'm going to my pipelines. And again, this will show you a slightly different list. It'll show you more overall players. And again, I'm not going by anybody that has any scholarship offers. You will have to scroll down a good bit since we are so late into the season itself. But you will be able to find players like this center 3-star at this point, just shy of our 4-stars. So I guess, unfortunately, we are no longer chasing any 4-stars. We are down to 3-stars, but same drill. I'm offering everybody that does not have a scholarship onto our roster for recruiting. So I'm going to go ahead and fill it up, and I will get to you guys once we're done with this. Okay, I'm not going to go whole 35, but there's one player on here that I really wanted to prove a point that I talked about earlier. This man right here. See how there's 3 players that their bar is practically full? Just to show you guys, we're going to send a scholarship to him, and we're going to add the full 65 hour, or I guess 60 hours because I don't have enough. And you'll see that all those other bars, technically become non-existent. Actually, I'm going to put him right below our 4 stars. I keep this star ratings, for example, 5 stars in the top, 4 stars next, 3 stars next, things like that. But we're going to go ahead and advance to the next week and show you guys for that tight end. Everybody else drops off to the face of the planet for that player. Again, players that we have not sent scholarships offers to yet are going to lock us out. But we don't care about how the team overall is doing. This is purely just for the recruiting process. I'm going to quickly remove these 2 players that I added that locked us out and show you the tight end that, boom, we have a very big lead. It does not matter where their bars are, how close they are being to full. If there's no scholarship offers, it literally does not matter. We got a good lead. TCU's fighting with this guy a little bit, but we can schedule. Oh, no visits. But he's on his visit. That's what it is. But everybody is maxed out. You already got hard sell. You do not have hard sell. He's got that 50 on the send the house. So we're going to alter it to hard sell. And that's literally the process that you will go through. I know if I've been showing you guys every single person that we've altered, but again, I want this to be in depth for you to see the entire process. That way you're ultimately don't really have to ask a whole lot of questions, but I'll go ahead and ask me questions if you have them in the comment section at this point. We're going to add our whole 65 out of 65 on our players. This man can get 5 more. And then we only have 10 left. This guy has nothing. He's a send. Oh, I didn't mean to send this scholarship, and that works as well because we'll most likely watch. Even with a scholarship and 5 points, there's a good point we might go from out of his top 9 to his top 5, possibly. So again, we're going to advance week real quick, which we're week 13. We got 2 seasons left of the 2 games left of this regular season itself. We do get free safety 4-star Jasper to commit, 4-star wide receiver Josh Douglas. So there are some points to free up to allocate into more players. And what does that put us at in terms of our total recruitment board? What was that? 8 players? Okay, 8 players. And look, we're a 1.5 star team. We got a 5-star. We got 7 4-stars. It's doing really well. Georgia, takes the lead on Mr. Pinner here. So unfortunately, looks like Georgia is going after this man hard. So unfortunately, we're just gonna free the points up and let them have them, which sucks. But again, they're just a bigger school. We're not gonna be able to compete with them. And we're just going to focus on our players here. This man can be removed because he locked us out. Nobody else locked us out. Where's that guy with 5 points? Oh, he's the guy that locked us out. Haha. Never mind. Looks like somebody chased him, or we didn't get into his top 8 before locking us out. So didn't get to prove a point there. But what positions do we need? Quarterback? Nobody's going after you. We'll go ahead and go full points on him, especially because we got all of our... Why am I going scouting? Because we got all them points freed up. Let's go right tackle because we need some big guys for protection of said quarterback. And I didn't mean to put him ahead of him, but that's fine. You are possession. I know the fullback. Let's just go fullback for now. Get one on the team early so we don't have to focus him that position down the road. And at this point, with 15 points, we're just going to send some scholarships just for the hell of it. That way, when we do get some more commits, we don't have to send them. All right, 4-star tight end Nazir Willie is on the squad. Obviously, a fair share of the 3-star guys that we have not sent scholarships or bothered to show interest in have locked us out. But we're coming to the end of the season itself. Remove these guys that have locked us out. I think there was 3 of them in total. There was 4 of them in total, actually. So we will end up adding some more 3-stars to our squad in a little bit here, but we have a good lead on everybody. So let's just look at the send the house. So example, this guy can get rid of send the house because that last unknown being proximity to home is going to be his last hard sell option, which is this one right here. And again, we're going to add as many points on him as possible. We have no visits to schedule. This man can get rid of his send the house because he have his 3 green check marks. And we're going for, where is it at? This one right there. And again, you want to have as many points as possible. You only have to send the house because we only have 50 on the quarterback. We have nothing we can do for you. And you guys still have, you know what? I'm not even going to compete with Virginia Tech, but everybody else has no offers. Let's go after, I know there was a right outside linebacker. There we go. We don't have one of you on the team yet in terms of what we're going after. So let's move you up on our board. And let's go ahead and let's get a big wide receiver. Do we got a big wide? No, let's go another offensive lineman. Why not? And then we'll go ahead and advance to the next week. All right, we are in the conference championship now, so we have nothing we can do. So we have to advance our week and get to, what is it, nationals? Ooh, okay, we do get another commit while we advance with the tight end, Mr. Cumberland, but I believe we got to get to National Signing Day to do anything else in terms of our recruiting board, as Heisman goes to Jackson Arnold with Oklahoma State. Okay, so transfer portal is when you can finally start doing some more points. It does. Oh no, that is unfortunate. Coach prestige. I really should have paid more attention to the coach carousel and got ourselves some better coaches, because now we are locked out of our own players. That is unfortunate. We're going to keep these 2 guys since we're currently on the lead, but Georgia did overtake us on Mr. Griffin. North Carolina does have the lead on him, so we're dropping him. We are going to schedule a visit early on with the majority of our players here, highest being proximity, which is going to be at home here. And you're going to have to reallocate all of your points. Why did I just do that? We have hard sell, which is going to be the better choice, because you can prioritize his interests and then add that last little bit of pluses, being this plus 10 at this point, since he has the 50 hours. Move him up for now. And double check that nobody else has scholarship offers. You have a lead, so we're going to go ahead and cannot hard sell you quite yet. You come up to 50 as well. Free safety. We cannot hard sell you either out of... We need to get into these people's top 5s. Oh, 65. You're technically the highest at this point. Put you up there. Wide receiver, none of you guys had interest. So scholarship offer and action, where we can only send the house, unfortunately. We're going to have a plethora of wide receivers for a quarterback if we happen to get one at this point. Wasn't really focusing on specific positions, sadly. But again, just showing that a low overall squad can go after high overall players. And since we got locked out of these guys in terms of our breakout, because I wasn't watching the quarterbacks. Wait, tight end. I don't even care about you. We're not even interested after you. We haven't even offered you a scholarship, but we'll have to go back to our recruiting board and add a bunch of 3 stars. Okay, we added more players in terms of 3 stars onto the team. Might as well get ourselves a kicker here. That way we don't have to do it down the road in terms of recruiting. We're not going to do any more than a singular season, but we do want a middle linebacker. Again, trying to diversify the positions just for the sake of showing you guys, so we're not going after all wide receivers, because there's so many wide receivers that it doesn't really showcase what I'm trying to showcase here. Oh, duh, I added 10 here. I'm dumb. Don't pay attention to me. I'm kind of rushing through this a little bit. Again, just trying to make this as short of a video as possible. I know I had rambled, and this is a little more in depth than what I was intending. But I don't want to cut ahead of any areas. I want you guys to see the entire process, and I'm not going to be skipping anything for you. I want you to see exactly what I'm doing so you can repeat in terms of success. All right. continuing with our transfer portal, we have one person that locked us out, which is a center. Did I offer you anything? I'm not even sure if I did. Anyways, I might have actually done. So, but doesn't matter. How are we looking in terms of Tennessee is actually going after this man, so we're going to drop you. We're not going to compete with that big school. Kansas State, I'm okay with competing with you. I don't think. Oh, Duke, you got a good lead. You're going after him pretty hard. Georgia's technically on the top there, but they don't have a scholarship, so I don't think they'll go after him. Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, Georgia, Florida. God damn. That guy might be a little hard to go after, but let's see if we can do it. Anybody got anything that we can alter in terms of sending the house? You already have yours. You're on your scheduled visit. We can schedule you for a visit. And what is your best grade? Proximity to home. You can't get some more points since we freed up some by losing that center. Looking for everybody. Still send home for you. Still send home for you. Let's go. We might actually have a fullback already on the roster, but we will add you on there. Not the 5. I wanted the 10. Just clicking too fast. And we'll do both these tight ends just because I don't want to bother to go to the recruiting board again. I just want to get to the end of the process and show you guys how many overall commits we get, what their overalls are, and what the team actually does in terms of improvement. But we have 20 total players currently on the here, and we're going to go ahead and advance. We only got one more week of the transfer portal, I believe. This might, yeah, one more week. Otherwise, that would have been a big commit week right there. Let's see how many leads we just lost. Oh, no, we have one more week after this one. I thought that was week 3. All right, looks like, okay, Kansas is competing pretty well, but that one that had Georgia or somebody on us doesn't seem to be a worry anymore. This man's close to having all 3 check marks, but again, I don't want to guess incorrectly. And C, being coach prestige, is going to be the highest grade. This man not close at all. We do not have the points to allocate for his. Let's free up some points. Anybody? You have no worries. I'm going to take your points currently just to schedule our visits. Schedule visit. Again, as early as possible. And coach prestige is your highest. We have another visit. Hold on, how many total visits? 1? Yeah, 1 total visit. We're going to take your 5 hours just so we can get our 40 and schedule this man's not actions visit. And after that, we got coach prestige is your highest, unfortunately. And we're going to advance to the last week. All right, we are on the final week of the transfer portal and recruitment process. I know one player locked us out. It was a wide receiver down here on the bottom. We also have somebody, you locked us out because of coach prestige. Interesting. We still technically do have a lead on you, so I'm going to leave you there for now. Let's see if we can alter anything. We can remove, send the house on this guy and change it to hard sell, which is what we're going to do. Again, just scroll through these and find which one is the one you need right there. Add the 25 points. You can also have send the house removed. Go to hard sell. Mr. Moses Hope. That's a name. Technically, all of them are names, but that's not what I meant by it. It's a unique name. My mind went to, oh, I don't. Wait, what? Oh, I already flipping shows that. What am I doing? Not paying attention. 65 out of 65. You can have your send the house removed as well. And again, that's because hard sell is the most bang for your buck. It prioritizes their interest and it gives you the most up arrows, especially because you can add another one like this, another 4 up arrows. You can also have your send the house removed. Tabin Wadi. Can be very lopsided with quarterback or wide receiver. Actually, it's an offensive lineman. He's 287 pounds. You also can have your send the house removed and your schedule visited on our last week. What is your best grade? Proximity to home. And add hard sell. Where is it? The one I'm looking for right there. All right, coming up on our last week here, schedule another visit to a fullback of all things, and it's the only check mark that we have, so you don't get to alter yours at all. Don't get to alter yours. You're a JUCO. Dang it! How many? I don't like going after JUCOs. If I would have realized that man was a JUCO, I wouldn't have gone after him. You know what? Just because Kansas State's close and we need to schedule a visit, you're gone. Didn't realize you were a JUCO, my guy. I don't like having players that you don't get your full, 3-4 years with, especially that man right there. Anybody else? We're gonna add our 45 points to you that we have remaining, and we'll add 5 to you just because it's literally our very last week. So there's 19 total players there. Let's see what happens in terms of advancing here. See how many total commits we get out of that. But we get wide receiver Hope. We get wide receiver Barry, not going off the last name. Middle linebacker Evan Joe. Oh, that's not as big a list as I thought it was going to be, actually. I was hoping there was going to be more players on that commitment list. Where did everybody else go? Georgia for the tight end here. Oh, no. There was more names on there. Did it not show us everybody that committed? That's interesting. But National Signing Day. Let's just go ahead and look at everybody's development trait just because that's always fun. Normal. Star on the middle linebacker, normal impact, normal star on Mr. Waddy, who is an offensive lineman, normal star on Mr. Hope, which is a physical wide receiver, impact star on the tight end Cumberland. You got star on another tight end Willie, impact star on right guard Mr. Bush, star on free safety Amano, impact elite on defensive tackle Javier Rowe, impact on our 4-star, and our 5-star defensive end is a star as well. Where does that put us in our recruiting class? I'm gonna say 19. All right, not too bad. But for a 1.5-star squad to finish in the top 20 in our very first season itself is pretty nice. Again, we only had 19 total commits to the team. I could have toggled the recruiting assistance for the last week just to allow the computer to chase after some 2-stars to help us out and possibly get us into like top 15 maybe. But again, I wanted everything to be manual and really show you guys what we're adding to the team. But I do want to go to position changes, change our athletes to whatever position they should fit in. This guy is an offensive lineman, and he's a defensive lineman out of all things. Fine, just left end, doesn't matter. And then we'll show you guys their overalls just for the sake of it, because I know there will be people that like overalls. So we're going to go by true freshman here. That's position. True freshman. We got tight end at 66 overall, tight end at 73, tight end at 69, right guard at 73, right tackle at 68, tight end at 73, left end 67, right end our 5-star 78 overall. Very, very nice. Happy with that, man. Another right end at 77 overall. Holy crap. There's your 2 studs defensive end for the next 3-4 years. That's pretty nice for the Eastern Michigan Eagles. Again, they're a 1-star, so nice addition to the squad. Wide receiver 66, defensive tackle 75. God dang, this D-line would be insane. Wide receiver 73 with 94 speed, actually really, really nice. Free safety 68, free safety 73, free safety 74, running back 74, fullback 69, middle linebackers at 66 and 65. And that is our recruiting class. And if you look at this team's overall, our 3 freshmen here are our 3rd, 4th, and 5th best players on the entire team, actually. So I actually arguably want to play out this season or this recruitment class just to see how this goes. But that's not the point of this video. I just wanted to showcase you guys how you can go overall, high overall players on your recruiting board, regardless of your star team. So I know this video definitely lasted longer, ended up being a bigger or much more longer duration than I intended. But again, I just wanted to in-depth show you guys my entire thought process and ultimately hope to help you in terms of you adding players of this type of caliber, if not better, onto your team, regardless of your team overall. So I wish you all the best. Hopefully this video did assist you in some ways, if not in the future of any kind. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it at this point. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit the thumbs up. Please let me know what you thought down in the comment section. And until next time, everybody, GodBaer out.